guys. Welcome to podcast number 16. So CrossFit Grandview podcast number 16. Andy is now in Joey's seat. So Joey moved to Philadelphia. The last podcast, 15, was his last one. So Andy is now going to be filling in for Joey. And today we are talking about changes in CrossFit. So Joey and I discussed, right when they first announced some of the changes, we discussed some of those, but now we're starting to see it play out. And then we're also, in between that time, I think CrossFit also entirely changed their website and basically the whole focus and look and feel of the content they're putting out. So me and Andy we're gonna start to dive into those early changes and just give our opinions and see what people think. People are always asking at the gym, like, hey, what do you think about this? And I find myself talking about it all the time, so I thought this would be a good...
Usually I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
I thought this would be a good thing to talk about. So far, with the games changes and the sanctionals and the way the Open kind of rolled out, what do you think so far? So do you have any, strong opinions one way or the other?
Not too strong. It's just, as it's going on, it seems at the end of the season, you're watching the exact same people compete at all of these sanctionals.
Yep.
And at Rogue, the girl that got 11th got a spot to go to the games because the top 10 already qualified some other way.
Yeah.
So the girl that got 11th won a spot. So the story was that instead of actually the competition. So it really wasn't that fun to watch for me.
So basically, it seems like your pro sponsored CrossFit athletes are going to all
just
the sanctionals.
Comp. Some sanctionals, they don't even have to qualify. They're just getting invited. So the team competition, Wadapalooza and Rogue, there was no way to qualify as a team. So they essentially picked who went to the games. So
was OC3 and those teams, were they invited or... Okay.
They were just invited.
Okay, gotcha.
So there was no way to actually qualify. You were just invited. So
yeah. That's tough, yeah. So that makes it tough if you're on the outside looking in. I agree, where it's not like that. The old school regional was almost like the Olympics, where it's like everyone kind of had that maybe more of a fair shot at it.
You had to compete
to
get
earn
up there. Your spot.
Yeah.
And people going directly in from the Open now. It's crazy.
And then the country winners.
Yeah.
I did, because I was looking through it, because one of the countries, like Algeria, came up right away, which I need to call Louise up because I looked at the girl who won it, and she was 39, which isn't really old, but she did everything prescribed, but I think she got 33 reps, I believe, on that thruster pull-up workout. So basically, she got hung up on her first set of chest to bar pull-ups in what was it, a 20-minute cap? Yeah.
She's a games athlete now.
Yeah, and now I might be wrong. At looking at her scores, and not to throw shade at the girl who made it. It's really cool. She did the Open and won her country, or I might be off with how she did. That being said,
don't hate the player, hate the game.
Yes. That being said, yeah, I'm looking at certain circumstances where we'll have to see how the games play out, how they actually do this.
And the only reason is it's we all get to do the same workout, so I can directly compare myself and be like, I don't know. Yeah. But I get it though. You get to represent your country.
Yes.
For the small countries, it's great. So it's.
Didn't was it Tommy Marquez who used to work for CrossFit? He put out
him and Sean Woodland.
They put out how they maybe a way that you could do it similar to what they're doing, but it's not exactly like that. I know I think I saw you repost that.
You'd have to qualify for a sanctional just to see that you're at that level.
Okay.
And that's that would be perfect.
So you win a country, but you have to be.
You have to qualify for one other sanctional.
And
go to.
And I know they talk about the Olympics, and the Olympics is sort of like that. You can't, when we watch the Olympics on TV and we're watching the 100-meter dash, you don't see someone from, a tiny country, some, little Scandinavian country running a 13-second 100 in there, because not every country puts someone in there who runs a 100-meter dash. There's an Olympic standard that you have to be at to actually even be out on the field and representing your country.
And I only say that because having gone to the games, like, it's not that fun of a weekend. It hurts. And like, I don't know. It's just, I think it's the competitor in me that's just like, I don't know.
Sure. Yeah,
but I mean, again, are they going to have cuts, or are they going to have a scaled version? Because, like, I just want to see monsters go after it and not, like, watch someone get their first muscle up. It's the games.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think we're definitely going to see, I mean, I'm just trying to be Nostradamus here. I think we're definitely going to see like a, almost like a big skills type thing that they feed people into. Like whether it's clean ladders or like almost, you remember how we did the, that skills combine, about 5 years ago? Something like that, where it's like, you'll see people doing muscle ups or pull ups and cleans and snatches, and there's like parts where you fall off where it's not going to be extremely taxing on your higher end athletes, but it's going to pretty quickly weed out everyone, guys who aren't snatching 225 and things like that.
I'm going to be honest, I don't want to watch it.
That little part.
I don't want to watch that.
I think that could be fun when you just see a bunch of people going into it and seeing like,
it'll give you more. You'll be able to relate more.
Yes. Like, oh, I could have got that far. I think that could be interesting. I think that's like day one stuff. It's like day one before, when they start doing competitions, back in California, they'd start Wednesday, and really everyone got there on the weekend. Mm-hmm. They run through all that shit like Wednesday. They weed out 150 people. Then they start throwing actual events and stuff.
Also, what fun is that? You get eliminated the first day, and then you just hang out the rest of the
day. Yeah, I mean, you'll find out pretty soon if you want to buy a, $1,500 plane ticket.
It's like, I don't know. Is it worth it?
We'll see. I don't know how they're going to
do. But again, like, maybe who knows?
We'll see how they do it.
The way it looks, no one's thought about anything, so.
We're figuring it out right now.
The amount of backfills that are going. So Matt Fraser has won his country, Dubai, Rogue, the Open. That's 4 ways that he qualified. So 3 other people got in for that. So
yeah, it's different. I like the sanctionals. Maybe just because it kind of throws it back to me to like the 2009 and 10 sectionals and regionals, when the people in that region, they're all different. Like, you see all kinds of unique workouts.
You couldn't practice the workouts because we're seeing that people practice the Open and then they get to a competition and they don't know what to do.
I think the cream really rises to the top in those live competitions. I love that idea.
The day before at the games, they tell you what you're doing. Yep. Figure it out on the fly.
Your Open All-Stars
that's where fitness shines.
Yeah. I like that. I think the sanctionals will become, like, the Rogue one was amazing. Like, I think those events will outshine the regionals, especially in like 2 or 3 years. They're going to become incredible.
Stop the invites.
Yeah.
Make people earn it.
Yeah, I agree.
If you want to go to that competition, earn it.
I like how the Rogue did the Legends thing. I think that was really cool. But I think invite things should be sort of like that.
Yeah, like that. You're not getting a spot.
Yeah, it's not. They're not for game
spots. They picked
spots.
Out of those 10. Like, they picked. So one of those 10 teams is going to make it.
I wouldn't be mad if, how they have 200 people from countries. I wouldn't be mad if they let Jason Khalipa go out there for winning the Rogue thing.
Let's talk about that Hunter guy. The Hunter guy getting the wild card. I forgot all about that.
What was that?
The guy talks so much crap now that he got the wild card invite, and he's the obstacle course winner. Does
he do like Tough Mudders and things like that? Okay.
But he's gone from Jim. He's like going around to Jacob Hettner and other people, and I think he's just getting dusted. And he talked so much crap that Greg Glassman gave him the wild card.
He used to talk about that a lot back in like 2008 and 9. Like,
never did it.
We'll send let's get P90Xs for best guy out here. And
nothing against Hunter. He's shooting a shot.
That's cool. We'll see how he does. That'll be fun. That'll be. I kind of like stuff like that.
That's just how this year is going. It's just like, oh, well, all right.
It's different than, I mean, it had become such a regimented sport where, back in they talked about a wild card, and I remember, back in 2014 when Graham won that last event at regionals, and the year before they had brought Marcus Hendren back out, from 5th place to go to the games.
Yeah.
And then Graham made it, and then that year it seemed like they just hardlined it. Him and Sam Briggs, who were games winners, both got 4th in their regionals, and they didn't let them come through. And Sam had won the games the year before and was basically favored to win again that next year, and she barely missed the cut. And then it got they weren't doing anything like that, and then they opened it all the way back up.
Yeah, they
this
had
year.
the wild card. If you win the games, you'll forever get to go. And they're talking about Kalipa getting fat, so they stopped doing that. He's going to come out there, and that was the year after he passed out on the 7K.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's fun though. It makes things interesting.
It does, but
it does take a little bit of the.
As long as the money's real on the podium, who cares?
Yeah.
Matt Fraser's not worried about it. Tina's not worried about it.
No.
So whatever happens at the bottom level, it really actually doesn't matter.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's fun. I kind of like that stuff.
People like me with egos, just
Yeah, I mean, what it does do is there's a lot of people who are on that elite bubble, and they train very hard and seriously,
and they seem pissed,
and they're just they're kind of left hanging out to dry.
They're just you didn't work as hard as I did.
Yeah.
Because one Rogue had theirs was $50,000, Dubai was $50,000. There was their smaller ones are $4,000 to the winner, so it's not the same level or going.
Sure.
There's ways to kind of sneak in.
Yeah,
there shouldn't be. It's just.
It's going to become more of a game in the next few years.
If you wait till the end of the season, everyone's already qualified, so then that's your best chance. Get 5th place and you're in.
I think I would actually like to see more sanctionals, so people have to win more of those to open up more spots that way.
Yeah.
And less of that filler stuff we're talking about, country winners.
Country, there's 130. So every sanction will get almost backfilled.
I want to see people move into countries to get to the games.
We
used to have that with regionals. I mean, I remember moving to South America.
Go to the South. Move to Texas.
Yeah.
Just weak region.
That doesn't... now in the countries, that opens it wide open.
And I think it's just being in the Central East for so long. You're oh, the guy that got 6 deserved it. He would have gotten 6 at the games.
Yeah.
It's just that mentality.
I know.
From living in the Central East.
Exactly. So, I mean, I think at the end of the day here, we just got to see how this CrossFit Games goes. We have Joey's going to be out there. We actually have a girl, Amira, which is cool, who she's one of those country winners who trained at our gym for 2 or 3 years, and she moved back to Malaysia, won Malaysia, which is awesome. It's fun.
I think Dune was up there too.
Yeah, Dune's training. They train together all the time. Yeah, so it's going to be fun to watch. Dune's not. I don't think he won.
No, he was up there.
Yeah, but they do team stuff and train together all the time. It'll be interesting to see. I think this games is going to be as different as it was from 2009 to 2011. It's going to be that big of a shift.
I'm interested to see the sponsorship. You're allowed to wear whatever shoes you want this year, so what's that going to mean for everything else?
Yeah. And then CrossFit and Reebok's deal will be coming to an end next year, I believe. Yeah. So we'll see what happens there.
Greg Glassman just going to stop it? Who knows?
Well, yeah, there's going to be a lot more money at stake probably at this point.
He wakes up every day and just changes something.
Yeah. So kind of going off that, they've sort of switched. So CrossFit's made a pretty definitive switch from tip of the spear, when me and you got into it in the more to the mid to late 2000s, everything on the website would be some guy in Kandahar doing a pull-up with a 50-pound vest. That was the picture on the website. And then a few months ago they switched it to it looks like the set of Roseanne now, and it's an older person
house.
yeah, deadlifting antifreeze cans or something like that.
They did broomstick muscle snatch.
Yes.
the other day.
So what is your opinion on that hard shift from tip of the spear to more of like the elderly and like clinically obese type crowd?
Well, Glassman did an interview a while ago, and he's been talking, like, if you look at the big picture now, you're like, oh, we should have seen this coming a long time ago, about how I think this year there's 100 or a couple hundred 10-year affiliates, and then this year there's going to be about over 1,000 10-year affiliates, and like
we're going to be one of those.
Yeah, so like that's coming up. So like obviously if you've been going it for 10 years, you know exactly what he's talking about. You've seen what he's talking about. So I don't deny it, like he's exactly right, but taking it away from everyone else, kind of like this is where we're shifting to and forgetting about everyone in between is just kind of, it's very weird.
Yeah.
Curious of what's going on.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I think I do think he's got a plan, and I think what happened is we've sort of tapped out the game stuff. You know, like we weren't CrossFit. I'm saying we as like I'm part of CrossFit. I don't work for HQ, but just like saying like we as CrossFit, we could only go so far just like pumping the games. Mm-hmm. And I think you had to start there. You had to prove the level 1 for years was like, it was a 3-day, the level 1 was a 3-day kick people in the ass, do Fran against like Josh Everett and who was the original fire breather?
Greg Munson?
Yeah, Admonson. Do Fran against those guys.
Lose.
Yep, lose. Do
Nicole, he used to just
Nicole would do like the overhead squat challenge against like
pick the biggest guy in the room.
Yep, that was what got me into it. I remember seeing a video of her doing overhead squats rep for rep with Glover Teixeira, who was to this day the guy's like 40s, like a top 10 in the UFC, and at the time he was a young stud, and she crushed him on it. And I was like, whoa, because I saw it on an MMA forum that I was following. I was like, what the hell was that? So they went from that, and I think you had to go from that because you had to prove its efficacy. You can't go from like, hey,
this will help you help.
Health
and wellness.
We're teaching people who are 400 pounds how to get off the couch, and like elderly people, and now we want Navy SEALs.
Yeah.
Like everyone's gonna think that's silly, So I think they were smart in that you had to go after the tip of the spear first and then go work back from there. And I've seen it in the affiliate, like when we were at the old Rogue Gym, everyone who came in there, I mean, it was like counterculture, like, pretty hardcore. People who had like done Olympic weightlifting, Marines, military, fire, police. It wasn't like general population. And there was some of that, but it was like, I remember there being classes. We'd have a class of 8 people, and then 4 years later, I'm like, that guy was in grid, that guy was in 4 regionals, like things like that. And like a class of 8, like 5 out of the 8 people like did some kind of wild stuff in, competition. And now like that's not the case.
Which is fine.
No, absolutely. So I think you had to work back from there. But like you were saying, I think it leaves this vacuum. You go straight from tip of the spear to like, the complete opposite end of the spectrum. And really at the end of the day, 98% of our population is people who want to train and aren't in either one of those, populations, those subsets. And I think we don't talk enough about what CrossFit can do for like regular people, just everyday people. I don't know like how you market that or what you say, but I feel like now that population's a little left out.
Yeah.
It's like, you're not diabetic and you're not Matt Frazier.
Screw you.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is.
You guys like to watch the game, so.
Yeah. I think at one point there was more stuff like, I remember reading like journal articles that were like like a cool one like that. Remember, did you ever read Strength Bias? Like that old school one, Jeff Martin, the CrossFit kids wrote it. Like there'd be stuff like that, and it was like a whole training program, like for you to get like stronger using CrossFit, and kind of was like the original thing that blended sort of the strength. And I remember reading that and like doing the program and seeing things like that. I think we've gotten away from, and that wasn't for games competitors necessarily. It's just like we've gotten away from just talking about cool training, and that's what I mean. That's what we're doing, you know.
And he just leaves everyone in the dark.
Yeah,
you guys will see. Like I don't.
So what I'm taking from that is, and what I think we can do as affiliates, and what I want to do is, I want to put out more content like that. So that's the kind of stuff I want to see. So I think what we need to do as affiliates is, we need to write those articles. Mm-hmm. We need to pump that content out.
I'm sure why he doesn't say that, I don't know.
Yeah, like, hey, leave that up, because a lot of times he'll pull back like CrossFit's kind of umbrella off of things, and he wants to open that up for, you know, a free market, and sometimes that's what makes things get a lot better.
Could be what he's doing now. You guys figure it out.
Yeah. Kind of moving on from that, what do you think about them pulling social media? I know you seem to have a little more insight. I read into it a little bit. So they pulled their Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah,
what did you hear about
they're
that?
doing it over privacy stuff, and they want to be like the low fat, or I'm sorry, the high fat, low carb diet thing got pulled, and then there was no reason why it got pulled. And
it was a South African Facebook group that had about 1 point.
Reinstated the next day, and that was the straw that broke the camel's back. So they just deleted everything. They're still on Twitter, but they're not going to use Facebook or Instagram anymore.
Yeah. So that angered a lot of affiliate owners who rely on Facebook or rely on CrossFit for their marketing, for content, for people to see that and then go looking for a CrossFit gym. And I understand that, because when you're an affiliate, you're looking for CrossFit to put some content out there, and then you want people to jump on Google and look for their local affiliate. And if that goes away, all of it's on your back you have to create the content. And that's something we started really doing as a gym, I don't know, about 4 or 5 years ago.
But then you ask, like, why am I paying an affiliation fee? Like,
sure.
What is CrossFit giving me now?
Yes. So that's what we have to figure out. So
is there still training? Do they still do that? I don't know.
That's my big. So when that happened, what I actually jumped on instantly and did is I looked at all the certs, and I was looking at the schedule. Well, it looks like they do have stuff all lined up. A few of them were kind of empty, and I'm a little concerned if they're going to pull some of their training back. So I'm not real sure.
Why would you like that? I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not sure why they do that.
I think their education program, I think that component of CrossFit is probably the best component of CrossFit, and I really hope they don't pull that. We send our coaches to those all the time. I attend those. I want to take, I haven't got a chance to take the gymnastics one yet, and I really want to go to that one. I've done like the Carl Paoli, like freestyle connection, but I want to take the CrossFit one and just load up my toolbox with more cues and different things to kind of think about. And I'm hoping they don't pull those certs, because I really find those valuable.
Like, is that what Castro does now? Because him and Nicole, I believe, were the head of training, but who knows what's going on there. For someone who works for my job is CrossFit, I would like to know what's going on.
Yeah, I'd like to. It'd be cool to get some of the. No one seems to ask Greg those questions, and people just want to know about the games, like what's going on with the games, and then he's like, I don't know.
But from a 10-year affiliate, like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, I'd love.
You're saying you're doing it for the 10-year affiliate, like, let us know.
I would love to hear some answers to that, and I'm sure Greg has a plan. I've had the privilege of kind of hanging out with him a long time ago, back when we were at Reebok and they were kind of signing all that stuff. I got to go down there and hang out. Actually, at that time, I'd met Chad Whitman, who was like Reebok's representative at the games in 2010, and he flew Graham and I out for that whole weekend where they did the first original deal, and it was pretty much the coolest weekend of my whole life. And I got to hang around Dave and Greg like the whole weekend. We were in the same group, running around and getting shuttled around, and got to hear their insights. But that was like 100 years ago in CrossFit time. So,
but it would have been real cool. Like before they did that, they let all the affiliates know, like, hey, this is happening.
Yeah,
I just like we wake up one day, like, what's going on?
I'd love some more communication. I agree. It would be
again. Then
cool.
Why are we paying you?
Yeah,
the affiliation. Like,
it's not a huge fee.
No, it's not, but it's hard to explain.
Yes, I don't disagree. I would be interested to hear where they're going with things, especially in regards to the education component. I'm not super worried about social media. I'm honestly not super worried about the games.
No.
I want to know about the social media, their website.
That's only getting bigger.
Yeah. I would like some more insight to that.
Day-to-day gym stuff, like what's training-wise, what's happening.
I thought it was cool when this is just completely veering off topic, where they used to they'd send camera crews into gyms to do the workout of the day.
And then you'd see somebody do it, yeah.
And they didn't do it. I mean, we got a few like documentaries filmed at our place, but what they would do, and it was cool, is they would, after Graham won the games, when we were still working together, they'd fed him the workouts early, and then so he'd do them, and I'd do them with him, the main site WODs, and we'd film them, and then they'd post them on CrossFit.com, and it was super cool, like, to not just because like we were in the videos or whatever it was, but it was cool to watch people do the workouts that they were in the content they were putting out, and then they just pulled that, and I don't think it made the site better when they pulled that. It was cool to see like times and things like that, and it was interesting. I don't know.
Oh, I remember waiting for it to update every day.
Yeah.
Waiting for main site to update, watch a video.
I know. I'd love to see something like that kind of. I'd like to see it fall back to
the people that remember that. I just feel like we're being alienated, I guess. Pushed to the side.
Yeah. So I think a lot of this is to be continued. It's not over. Let's do one of these again, and like we'll kind of revisit all this stuff. I would say in 6 months to a year, because then I think we'll have some more answers.
After the games too.
We'll have a bigger picture. We'll see like the
open's coming.
Mm-hmm. Yep, fall open right in the middle of football season.
Yeah, the fall open.
We'll see how that goes. So in the gym though, so kind of moving on from what CrossFit HQ is doing, what we're doing at CrossFit Grandview. So there's some changes going on at the gym. Nothing that most of you guys will really even see any huge difference. But just to let you guys know, I've done the level 2 program. I've been programming all the workouts at the gym for a long time, and starting next week, I'm passing off our competition training and programming over to Andy, who's coaching both of the level 2 classes. He's also doing the workouts. So Andy's going to be taking over the level 2 programming, and he's basically going to be our competition coach, like our head of competition training, coaching teams, coaching our Olympic weightlifters who go into competition. So Andy's taking over like all of our competition coaching. You have anything to kind of talk about?
I don't think it's going to be that different.
Big of a departure.
There's not really much different going on there.
Yeah.
It's just same old. Maybe it looks a little bit different, but it'd be the same thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, the longer I've done this, the more I realize that the workouts really don't matter. It's just how you attack them and how you do them. So,
it's the intent that you go into.
There's no special program. It's just what you get out, like what you put into it.
Yeah, and I think moving it over into Andy's hands, I'm happy to do it because it's really hard for me to let go of it. But Andy's in the fire all day, every day in that program. I'm on the all level side, coaching the all level classes, and then doing all the all level training myself. So that's sort of the fire I'm in all day, and I'm doing those workouts. I'm not doing the competition training anymore. The farther and farther I've gotten away from it, you're sitting there, handstand walking on the regional obstacles, doing all that. You have more insight into how to train on that stuff now. So I think it's going to be a really cool thing.
Being able to talk to you guys, like some people, what's going through your head when you're rounding that set of 15 muscle ups? When you're hitting, what are you thinking? What are you killing yourself? Are you just blindly flying?
Absolutely.
Just being able to kind of conversate on that level.
Yeah. So you're going to be able to speak from more experience in that. I'm now 3 or 4 years away from doing that training.
We're adding more machines and it's just running away.
Yep. So I think that's going to be awesome. Also, our team. Oh, go ahead.
No, we'll do it at noon.
Yep. Our teams. So we have our CrossFit Grandview team with Scott, Allie, Julianne, and Corey. They're all competing in the Netherlands this weekend at the Lowlands Throwdown. It's a sanctional event. They've got some heavy-hitting teams out there.
The last weekend to qualify a team.
Yeah. So they're out there, I think, with the Mayhem team. And then a bunch of European teams, some stout ones.
The Granite Games is loaded, so the top 5 could be already games teams. So
yeah.
Could snake in that way.
So we'll see. I think our team's really well prepared. The events that shook out look good for them. So I'm pretty excited to see how it's going to go. It's going to be streaming all weekend. So
for free, yeah.
Yep, on their Facebook website. So guys, if you get a chance, check that out.
I don't think the time difference is too much. 4 or 5 hours
from the East Coast.
Yeah, it's nothing. Yeah, it's not too crazy.
Yeah.
So we'll be able to watch some of it.
Yeah. At least catch the later events in the day.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you can just rewind and look at different stuff. So, and then Joey's going to be out at the Granite Games with his team, the Central Beasts that qualified in London. They're more or less using it as a tune-up for the games, and but they're also looking to maybe make some money if they win.
They'll both be good because that one's loaded because everybody's just trying to qualify that last team.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It's going to be fun to watch. There's a lot on the line on these team competitions this weekend. Individuals, Matt's not competing, so I don't watch. It's not fun knowing.
Well, Ben Smith is trying to get in. I think this is his last chance.
I don't think he's got it, but that would be awesome.
Yeah, it would be cool.
He got hurt and so he's not what he was, but
he seems a little hobbled this year.
He's still out there getting it though.
Yeah.
So he's another one that just invite him.
Yeah.
Ben's been doing it. Give him his 10th, invite him to the game.
He's definitely the most consistent CrossFit athlete that there's ever been.
He's average Joe. Looks just like an average dude.
And I think you've got to say he's the 3rd best all-time competitor outside of Matt and Rich.
I'd put him over Cliff.
You have to, just because he's done it more, and he's got a more of a modern day win.
Yeah.
So he has a modern day win, and he has a 2nd place, right?
He was old school. He'd roll into regionals without doing the workouts and just see how it showed up.
Yeah.
He'd take 5th, and then he would take 4th at the games.
Khalipa's right up there because he took a 2nd, and he won that 8 games, and he took a 2nd. But Ben has more. Ben's top 10. Pretty much I think he's taken an 11th maybe, but he's pretty much top 10 from. Except 2009, he did not do that well his first year.
We need to get a Ben Smith's dad start a petition to wild card in the games.
Yes, I agree. I think Ben Smith's dad got top 200 in one of the Masters.
Hold 600.
Yep. I met Ben Smith's dad out at the games. My favorite part of the games. Only OG CrossFitters.
Yeah, if you don't know the Ben Smith's dad, get out of here.
So that's all going on. One thing in the gym that you guys might notice is in all of our busier classes, so our weekend classes, all our evening classes now include a float coach. So classes that were traditionally bigger, what we decided to do is bring that coach to athlete ratio down to right around 10-1 in those classes by adding a float coach. So we have a lead coach and a float coach. So if you see someone, it's Jordan and Matt Bolt right now, come up and they're going to try and cue you and correct you. It's not just some random drive-by member. It's one of our float coaches. So we have extra set of eyes on athletes. Really great for newer athletes who are just getting into the classes. So I'm super excited to roll this out. It's been very helpful for us too, as lead coaches. So we've added those float coaches to the mix, and you can expect to see them all the time, especially if you need any help where a lead coach is, maybe explaining something or leading a class, and you don't want to grab their attention. Those float coaches are great to ask little questions while someone's maybe leading a progression or something like that. So
I like poking. Making Jordan jump up there and do things.
Yeah. It's great for demonstrations and all that type of stuff. And then kind of wrapping up here, Summer Shred this Saturday. We have our race. Once you get your race time, we want you to go ahead and send in your after photos and your final race time into, I believe it's longsingerkate@gmail.com. And we'll go ahead and wrap up the Summer Shred. We have prizes. We have a trophy. Prizes for first, second, third, including a cool trophy that Jim Wetta makes every year, a different one. And then we're celebrating the end of Summer Shred. It's not just people who did Summer Shred, it's anyone from the gym. We have a pool party every year, so quarterly we have a social. We'll have that pool party at Premier Athletic Club off of Riverside Drive, and it's going to be from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. on June 8th. We pay for drinks, food, got a tab just like all of our parties. Pool party's an awesome one. It's super laid back. We're just kind of lounging out in the sun and having some drinks. So.
Rex would be there.
Yep, Rex is a dual member. He's a member at Premier as well. I know Lily is too. So we'll see you guys. We'll have a big sectioned off area. It's a ton of fun. You guys can bring a friend if you'd like as well. Just don't roll four or five dudes deep. We've had a couple issues there. We had someone get a wristband. I know last year someone I think got a wristband, and this guy was just rolling and getting a bunch of drinks, and they're like, we have a big gym, but I'm like, I know this guy's not part of our gym. So I had to run up to him like, hey, how long have you been a member? And he's like, oh, I've done some drop-ins at Clintonville or something. I'm like, dude, cut that wristband off. You're stealing money from me.
I have 6 schlitzes.
Yeah, that's what he was doing. He was pounding them. I'm like, dude, get out of here. But anyways, guys, we'll see you at that pool party. I hope you enjoyed the podcast. What we'd love for you guys to do, write in the comments any questions you might have about this podcast. Also, you can ask us to talk about different topics that you'd like to see, and we'll go ahead and put those into action. So we will see you guys on the next one.